Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dilmer again and welcome back to my channel. So I'm pretty excited today because I'm going to be talking about 5 different things that I recommend indie game developers to do. This applies to indie game developers from, people that are just starting out or anybody that is just an indie game developer and have been doing that for a long time. So the one that I really think is important to me and it's very important to all of you is making sure that you finish all your games. So that is basically number one, making sure that you are completing your games. The reason why I really wanna hesitate the importance of that is because I talk to a lot of people in the industry. And I talk to a lot of people outside of the industry that used to be in the indie game industry. And the thing that is, that I found as a pattern is that they all tell me that they regret not finishing their game. Not only they regret it, but they always think about that. And it's pretty sad if you're thinking about regretting not finishing something that you basically love so much. So if you're working on a game right now, by all means make sure that you finish your game. Do whatever it takes. If you don't have the time or you don't think you have the time, just make sure that you're spending some time to work on your game at a deadline. I talk a lot about this one in a specific in all my videos, so make sure that you follow through and you complete your game, because that is going to be your best asset in the future. So number two, and one that I also talk a lot about it, and that is making money as an indie game developer to start with might not be as easy. A lot of people think you're gonna start, you're gonna make a game like Super Meat Boy or Braid, and you're gonna be that person. I'm not saying you're not gonna be that person, but for your first game, don't expect to make you rich overnight, because by all means you're not gonna be rich by making indie games, especially how knowing how many indie games are out there right now. And I talk to indies about this, and to become an indie, if you're thinking about chasing the money at first, you're not gonna succeed in this industry. This industry is for people that love making games, that have motivation about making games because they grew up with that. They want to embrace that culture. There is a lot of money to be making games, but make sure by all means that you don't focus on that at first, because you're not going to succeed. Let's see, and then number three, and one that I really think is important as well, is when working with teams, it's very easy to lose motivation. The reason why it's very easy to lose motivation is because not everybody in the team, and it depends on who you find in your team, is gonna be as motivated as you are. In my personal experience, I'm always super motivated about working in games. I work extra hours, I work as much as I can. It's because I love making games. So if you're working on a team and your team is not as motivated as you are, make sure that you do that. Make sure that you find the people that have as much motivation as you have. And if you can find that, then work by yourself. Try to do as much as you can. Maybe hire out some of the little pieces that other people can do, maybe through Fiverr, through other freelancing channels. But make sure that when you're working on a team, you're finding the best people that you can find, the most motivated people that you can find. And also the other thing that is very important, make sure that you're talking about revenue, talking about contracts from the very beginning. Get those signed, get those out of the way. Otherwise, that's gonna basically ruin your project long term. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you're focused. You make sure that your team is as motivated as you can. So the next one, and number four, is one that I always think about, because it's one that I recommend people to do, because I actually made a lot of mistakes on the way. And that is, when you're updating your game engine, make sure that you're not updating that game engine as soon as a new update came out. So in my first game, I kept on doing that. I was updating my game engine, then something broke in the game, so how I was fixing that, then Unity sent a new update, so then I went back and updated. So I was kind of chasing the updates, and I wasn't actually having a solid build. So I think that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to finish my first game. So, and then lastly, this one is very important, and I want you to always remember number 5, because that is the one that I always recommend everybody to do, and that one is keeping your stats as small as you can. I say this a lot, and this is basically one of the fundamental reasons why I have been able to finish so many things. And this one is not that difficult. It might be difficult at first, And I had struggles working with other team members when I give them too big of a task. So if I give them too a big task, it's really hard for them to basically send me updates on a regular basis, and that makes it hard when you're integrating those features or those basically mechanics that they're adding into your game. Because if you're waiting, let's say that you have to wait about 3 weeks for something to be completed, and there is a dependency on a task within those 3 weeks, so it's gonna be really hard to integrate that code if you are working on features that are too large. So by all means, make sure that you're breaking up those features into very, very small tasks. And when I say small tasks, it can be a task that it might take you 1 day, it might be a task that takes you a few hours. So if you have a task that takes you 3 days, that means that you need to break it up. So that is very, very important. Make sure that you do that. And if you have any questions about the 5 recommendations that I'm giving you in this video, let me know, and I appreciate your time. And don't forget to share and subscribe to this video. Thank you, guys.